everyone. My name is Nikki Miles, and this is my very first video that I have ever done to be uploaded to YouTube. So I'll start by telling you a little bit about myself. I am 43 years old. I am married. Currently have 3 girls and 2 grandkids. I recently got married, so my children are not by my husband, and my husband does not have any children. So you currently see me right now in a robe, and the reason for that is because I recently had surgery, and that would be tubal reversal surgery. And there are lots of videos on YouTube, excuse me for whatever that is on my head, about tubal reversal recovery. And I was encouraged by one of my really good friends in California. She's an artist, she's an actress, and she just wanted me to share some of what me and my husband has went through in our journey through this process, and I hope that my story encourages others to press forward and continue regardless of what little hiccup you may have gone through in your journey. Again, I'm 43 years old, so I'm starting all over again. My youngest is 13 years old. My husband is 35, and again, he has no children of his own. So, of course, I would like to give this gorgeous, yummy man of mine a baby, possibly more than one, if God's will. So let's start off with what our trials have been. Originally, I did not want to get a tubal reversal because of the procedure I had when I first had my tubes tied, but they weren't really tied. They were burnt. This coagulation, I believe, cauterization process that they did. And so I did not know what it would look like, or if it's possible, because of me looking at a lot of things online about people who had their tubes cauterized and how badly damaged they were, and how they probably would not be able to conceive or be able to have them reversed because of how the prior doctor may have burnt their tubes. So I sent my pre-op notes as well as, the surgical notes and stuff to a couple of clinics to see if I would be a good candidate for tubal reversals. And this was a couple of years ago. I actually didn't even get any response back from those doctors. Ain't that so rude? But I was like, well, I probably was one of those candidates that just couldn't have it done. So I let that go and be done with it. So when I met my husband, we've been together, this will make 6 years. We just got married in January, and started rethinking about this whole process of how is it that I'm going to be able to have a baby or give this man who has no children a baby. And I started thinking about IVF. I was like, okay, well, that would be good because, with IVF, we can just go ahead and it'll be easier, get my eggs implanted. The process would be quicker. I won't have to worry about, no possible additional pregnancy later on, since, that's what the whole purpose of the tubal ligation was to begin with. And then we saw the costs. Oh my God, so expensive just to have that done. We're like, where would we even get that kind of money to have IVF? So about, I would say 2 years ago, I found out my job would cover the cost of IVF for, their employees. So I contacted them, explained my situation. The lady was like, oh yeah, we will do that. You're covered, your benefits cover this. So me and my then fiance went through the whole process of semen analysis, went through, getting the, what they call, ultrasounds and this other test that they do where they check to see if, fluid's going into your uterus. I forgot the name of it, but we went through dang near like the middle process where it's almost time for us to go through actually collecting his semen to then do an egg retrieval. Get ready to order my medication and everything, and then all of a sudden they say, well, your insurance denied it. And we're like, what? Yeah, they denied it because you had a tubal ligation. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I told them this before I even start this process. And they said, well, some companies will approve of the process. It's just that your job put a stipulation clause in the package that said that if they had volunteer sterilization, then they do not qualify for us to pay for the procedure. So when I tell you we were devastated, I was just beyond measure devastated. When I talked to the doctor, he was like, well, yeah, most companies don't pay for IVF if you've had a tubal ligation. And I'm like, you know what? I'm one of those persons where if you tell me up front, this is what my choices are, I go with what my choices are. But when I contact you and you tell me one thing and then I go through this process and then find out later on you're not going to cover it, it's almost like you snatch my dreams away from me. So it was quite hurtful. It was very painful to even tolerate it, because I'm like, God, we got this close for you to, why did this happen? So anyway, we decided, I don't know what our other option would be other than just to save up the money, try to come up with the money for it. Well, the procedure cash paid was like $13,000, and that did not even include the medication. So we were like, oh my goodness, how are we going to come up with this money? This is a lot of money. Well, then the insurance contacted me and said, well, we have another discounted program that you can go through. You apply for a loan through us, but you would have to go through our doctors for the procedure. And I think the place they wanted me to go to was like 3 hours away from me. And I think I was just so taken back by how their whole process was, regardless of what they were trying to offer me. I just wasn't feeling it, and I decided I was not going to go through that with them. So we decided we'd just save up the money and get loans and just continue through the doctors that we were already dealing with. Well, this is one thing that I've learned going through this process, is a lot of these doctors, these hospitals, these facilities, especially when they're dealing with IVF, they're looking at success rate more than anything, regardless of taking your money, because it's published. And they don't want to look like one of those companies that's not very successful with IVF for their patients. And because of my age, it just seemed like no one wanted to proceed further with me, regardless of the fact that I had already came up with the money. There was so many excuses that was provided to us about, my AMH levels was low, your blood levels was low. We're going to retest you to see if maybe it was a fluke, but it just seemed like you dropped significantly. And if it drops significantly, it just means that, your eggs are depleting, and we don't know if we're going to be able to get enough eggs from you in order to do the procedure. And I'm looking at him like, I thought we only really needed one one egg to fertilize, but okay. All right, so the AMH levels is low and these other levels are high. What can I do to work on it? So I'm increasing my vitamin D. I'm taking iron supplements to increase my hemoglobin levels. Exercising, working out, watching my diet, doing everything I can on my side to get my body healthy. Numbers did go up, but as far as they was concerned, it didn't go up enough. So he was like, it's a lot of money. I'd rather you and your husband just take that money and go take it, just go do yourself a very good vacation. And maybe you guys can adopt. And I'm looking at him like, you have got to be kidding me. We have saved up this money. We have done everything that we can, and your option for us is to adopt, and you will write reference letters. Wow. So basically, they just didn't want to work with me. And one of my friends told me they went to this other place called Reach, and they told her she had hard-boiled eggs. So anyone over 40, it just seemed like we were just not the good candidates for these places. And by the way, my friend went to another place and she ended up having twins. So, don't listen to these people when they started becoming this way, because there's underlying reasons for why they're trying to discourage you. And if you find that is happening to you, it's probably best that you do not go to that place, because then you will be wasting your money because they're not there for you. So what I did was, after I left there feeling, I'm going to be honest, I felt depleted. I felt like they've taken every single energy, every ounce of positivity I had in me, any hope. I felt like it was all drained, it was all gone. I went home, I prayed, I stayed in my daily prayer, asking God, to find a way for me and my husband to have this done, because I at this point, I don't know what else I could do on my own. And, something just told me to resend your notes from your Tubal ligation to North Carolina Center for Reproductive Medicine. Just resend it to them, do the application online. All they can do is say no at this point. Really, you really have nothing to lose. And I forgot about it. Just continued to go on with my day and my life, enjoying, being married to my husband and just doing normal things, enjoying my family. And I got a call, and I did not answer my phone because I didn't recognize the number. I'm so bad at that. I screen my calls. So I listened to the voicemail, and it was, congratulations, the doctors reviewed your file,